Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. I want to go ahead and make mention at the start of this video that I always operate with an open mind. I take the market on a day-by-day basis without any bias. So I want to make that very clear at the start of this video because things don't look too good right now, but I'm always ready for a turn. But for right now, I think there's some major concerning issues for this market. And the biggest one is how we closed on Friday. So first, before we look at some of the other sentiment indicators we look at, I want to show you that VIX, while it hit the recent highs while the market was hitting lows, actually pulled in quite a bit on Friday before finally bouncing. That being said, SPY has continued to sell off. So even though the fear in the VIX has topped out implied volatility-wise, the market doesn't care and actually sold off on heavier volume, closing at the low of the day. More importantly, this is my time segment volume indicator on a daily basis. That signal line, that moving average line, and the lead line, straight down. The momentum indicator on my squeeze, straight down. It's not in a squeeze, so there's nothing to really do here. Continue to take it on a day-by-day, day trade or die basis. You either intraday trade or day trade, or you start to nibble at long-term positions here if you have a 20, 30 plus year time horizon. Right now, all I care about is the day trading. Then today, swing trading, trend following trading that I've been doing my entire life. We'll review the only stock I happen to be long right now after we look at the rest of the indices. But the QQQ, same thing. TSV line, very negative. Squeeze, momentum, negative, heavy volume, closing near the lows, still above the recent low, so there is some hope, but it's not too good. DIA, same thing. About the only positive that I can see in the short term is the last two trading sessions, Thursday and Friday, the Russell 2000 IWM led compared to the rest of the market. That being said, there's really no sign of a real bottom here. Momentum is still down. TSV is still down. All of that looks very bad. Now, I want to remind everybody, I'm going to go to the longer term time frame here on the monthly. Notice this time segment volume indicator. On a monthly basis, I look at MACD and TSV. MACD is good confirmation with TSV, but the TSV indicator has always been my ultimate indicator, and following this market reversal, it probably will be forever now. I mean, because remember, on the Russell 2000, this thing went bearish in June, July of 2018. Not once did the signal moving average line ever curl higher. Not once did the lead line ever close above the moving average line. What has the Russell 2000 done since? Straight up crash. The DIA, even though we had that little rally here, we can see what has now happened. This was a lie. You can make money during this time, but if you decided to buy any point here in a buy and hold hoping methodology, bam. What indicator kept you safe the entire time? Had you only had a longer term time frame reference and you weren't day trading, you weren't swing trading, short-term trading. That monthly TSV line, it went bearish in September of 2018. Bam. Would have kept you safe the entire time. QQQ, that was a strong rally. But the entire time, if you had a longer term perspective for your investments, September of 2018, signal line, moving average line, downtrending, lead line, downtrending. Amazing. Like I said in the last video I made, thought it was lagging. Turns out it was telling the truth and leading. Same thing with the SPY. September, negative, negative, negative. So, with all that out of the way, why do I while I am open-minded to a bottom, why do I not think the market has bottomed? Let me show you why. So the first chart that I have overlaid on top of my telecharts is the bull minus the bear AAII sentiment indicator. Look at where we were at the December 2018 lows. Look at where we were in the August 2019 lows. look at where we're at now. This tells me the short-term crowd is nowhere near bearish enough to be like, I've got everything lined up for a market bottom. So not only do I not have price indicating to me that we bottom, this AAI, bull minus bear, which is the only chart I care about. I don't care about the total amount of bulls, bears, and all that from week to week. I care about the bulls minus the bears. This is the only number I care about. You can see at the 2017 highs, look at where we were at. And then you'll notice the pullback, and you'll notice that we haven't gotten to that point yet where we look like we topped out. So the real safe range is at 20 level. So when we start to get around that 20 level, this is when I start to get nervous. And you'll notice at the end of 2019, we hit that level. However, at the same token, you can't call a bottom until you get down to at least here. Now, this only goes back to 2017, but you can look at this negative 25 level and this 20 level really for the positive side. And you'll see that there's a correlation between the AA bull and bear bottoming out when we get to this level. So that's the first chart. But more importantly is the next sentiment indicator I want to look at. This has been my tried and true one and only sentiment indicator I've ever really truly cared about for a market bottom. Yes, I wanted to confirm with the AAII, but the Investors Intelligence survey has always been my go-to. When the bears and bulls cross and we get more bears than we get bulls, this is just a 2018 example. We get a bottom. This happened in 2002 to 2003. This happened in 2008. This happened also in all intermediate declines where we found a low and then rallied. And it happened at the 2018 lows, which is the last reference point we have when there were more bears than bulls. You know what happened from those 2018 lows? Think about this chart here, okay? It's the same chart you're looking at here. Nasty, right? Ugly. The worst, quickest, fastest, most violent sell-off ever in the history of the stock market. And following last week's survey, we still have more bulls than bears. 34.6% bulls. It's not funny, actually, because a lot of bad stuff's happening out there. And 32.7% bears. Amazing to me. I thought that following the sell-off last week, this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, I thought following Thursday's session, even before Thursday's session, I thought we were going to have a cross. We didn't. Following this past week, after we put the Monday in the books, I definitely thought we were going to cross and have more bears and bulls. We haven't. So as far as I'm concerned, no confirmation of a bottom. However, there's an even more concerning chart, and the last one we'll look at before we get back to the real charts at Telechart. So this is the chart of initial unemployment claims. We're about to go to this is post-World War II. I wish this chart went back even further because I believe that, I got to look at the chart, but I already know, I've seen this chart going back even further before. There has never, ever been a spike from 52-week lows in initial unemployment claims to that. It takes out the 2000 to 2008 initial unemployment claims highs, takes out those late 1970s, early 80s unemployment claim highs, and it doesn't do it by just a little. What we're going to see next week could be a bloodbath. And on that note, I live in Maui. We have issued a 14-day quarantine starting on Thursday, which means if you come into this state, you will not be allowed to leave wherever you are going via the Department of Health for 14 days. You're staying at a hotel? Guess what you're doing for 14 days when you're on vacation on Maui? You're staying inside your hotel. You're not allowed to leave. And this goes for everywhere in this state. So I believe unemployment where I live is going to spike to over 50% to 60% easily. And that just is insane. But this chart right here, this is the most concerning. And if this happens, do I really think that we have a bottom in this market longer term? Absolutely not. Could we? Absolutely. The news is always the worst at the bottom. The news is always the best at the top. This could be a bottom. Price will tell me. Volume will tell me. I'll know how to act. I know what I'm looking for in my stock charts. but I just think that is possible. This is going to get worse. We could have a bounce, but let's see all the averages we got to run into. The 9, these are the most important ones for me. The 9, 21, 200, 50, then 100. Now we got the 50 below the 100. Whenever we're below the 200 weekly moving average, I consider us in a bear market. We're below it on the SPY. We're below it on the DIA. The QQQ, coming close, not quite there yet. And the IWM, good Lord. I have zero interest in trying to time a market bottom. If you have a long-term horizon, sure, nibble 10%. Increase your 401k by 10%, 20%. Sure. But to go all in here thinking that this is definitely a bottom, the way that this is set up, let's even just go back to the SPY. Any bounce is a point to sell into. Fibonacci retracement from the highs to these lows. We have this level, this level, this level, and this level that can all act as resistance. Then we have all those moving average levels. We can even do symmetry projections from this low to this high to the current low, and we'll have those resistance levels. If I was a huge firm, and if I had to unwind margin calls or positions, I'm looking to sell into any bounce. So who's to say what can happen? But those are the main points I want to go over for this video. Now I want to go over the good news. Hope I didn't depress anybody. Just giving you reality. I deal with the weight of the evidence, facts, reality, at hand, observable evidence. No opinions, no wants, no wishes. This is what it is. That being said, on an end-of-day basis, do I have any long positions for Monday session? Nope. Do I even have any end-of-day sell signals? Nope. For my website at bigwavetrading.com, I run it on an end-of-day basis. The buys and sells are done on an end-of-day basis, even though my personal sells are managed by good to cancel sell stop and good to cancel sell limit orders. That being said, I'm tracking 20 names, 13 stocks, most of them coronavirus related, and 7 leverage inverse ETFs. But due to Interactive Brokers issue, one Monday, 2 weeks ago, can't even remember which day it was now. It was 2 weeks ago on Monday. I believe it was this session here, the 9th, March the 9th. I went 100% cash because I didn't know what I actually owned at Interactive Brokers, and clearly they didn't either. So the only long position I currently have on an end-of-day swing basis is ZM. I went long this session. My good to cancel buy stop limit order was 1 cent above the high of the day, 113.84. On this session, it triggered and filled. I immediately initially put a good to cancel sell limit order at this high here, 129.83. And on Thursday, I was sold out of 50% of my ZM position for right around, give or take, a 15% gain. So I locked in 15% on that move in 2 days. I still have 50% of my position remaining. This is where my current stops are. I have one here. I have one here. I have one here. And my final stop, since it's splitting hairs between this low and this low, is right here. 25, 25, 25, 25% trailing stops. Profit stop, very tiny loss stop, small loss stop. Why did I go long ZM that day? First off, what you don't see, because I'm not going to bring up my telechart version 7, is it had a hammer, basically engulfing candle over the intraday range of the previous session, bounced off the 21 EMA on heavier above average volume. You do not see the increasing green. Actually, let's pull it up. It's right there. Never mind. I can show it to you. You have the increasing balance of power right here. See how it's green, green, and increasing green. So that played a part in the decision. But more importantly, let me go ahead and remove this so it's kind of easier to see. Let's make this small. It's kind of hard to see. But in this indicator right here, even though momentum is coming down, it enters a squeeze, black dot, medium squeeze, tightest squeeze on the day of that signal. So not only do I get the bullish candle, volume, and bot profile, it's in its tightest squeeze, and even though momentum's going the wrong way, it's still positive. So I'm willing to take that trade. Right now, I'm not taking any end-of-day swing trades or trend-following trades if it's not in a squeeze. ZM happened to work. Now, that being said, I'll show you my best bottom reversal long signal that I didn't take. You got to look at the balance of power once again. See all the green in it on the way down? Told everybody this session, IMAX, this would be normally a long position, but as you can see, green dots, no squeeze. Nasty momentum. What did it do the next day? It's always a day off here at Telechart. Up 60%. So, whatever. It is what it is. So with all that out of the way, the last thing I'm going to review is that since I keep telling you guys, end of day trend following stuff is going to be difficult. Very few signals. SIUM is really the only signal I got. They are going to come back. And when they come back, guess who's going to be here telling you guys exactly what I'm buying, giving you the exact same entry and exit parameters, allowing you to purchase the security or the options before I do. Now listen, SIUM, you could have played the options on this, made about, I think it was right around 50 to 100% gain, while I made 15%. But I traded, I can't remember if it was I think it must have been a put spread on this one back here when it was moving higher, and or even just during that period of time or here, and I made money on it, but getting in and out of the option was basically like pulling teeth. So I did not play the options this time around on this, but if it's liquid enough, you can always play the options. But whenever I get my next signal with everything lined up, volume, price, balance of power, squeeze, heck, I give it to you guys and you get to act on it before I take it. I'll be here when those signals come again. I'm always ready. I'm always looking. I'm always scanning. I'm never not doing work. But that being said, right now, this isn't the time. So I day trade and focus on day trading. Living on Maui, it's a nightmare. It's just impossible to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, even if you go to bed at 8 p.m. at night or 7 p.m., which is impossible to live a normal human being life, and try to day trade all session. Doesn't work. So I have to decide to either get up at the open and day trade the first hour and a half, take a nap, day trade the rest of the day, or wait till after the first hour or so of the day is gone, wake up around 5 a.m. Maui time, and which is 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then trade the rest of the day. So on that note, on Friday, I seem to have made a mistake because the only setup that worked was PENN, and it was in the morning. And I just want to review what I look for. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we're running out of time. We're about at our 20-minute mark. And I didn't even take a trade in this, but PENN. We're always looking for stocks in play. And PENN was in play in the morning, gap up. But not only that, we were talking about it the session before. So we're already talking about PENN on Thursday. So on Friday, it continues to follow through and it halts. We always love to play these halt positions. When a stock pulls back from a halt, whenever you see it reclaim this halt price level, especially if it's with an uptick in volume and a squeeze with building momentum, it's game on. Now, initially, PENN chopped around, but if you didn't get this move above the halt price level, it gave you another one with the same squeeze, positive momentum. And even though it wasn't a huge gain, on a day when the market was rough overall, you still got a 22% gain. But more importantly, I'm going to try to get this up. I hope all this is up. I love the over-the-counter bulletin board markets in times like this because there's always stocks that move whenever the rest of the market is not. Now with DECN, do you see this pattern here? We're going to go to a 3-minute chart. Let me back that up. You can see that initial morning push on the 11th, bam, volume. You can see the consolidation. I actually still have it marked up on the chart. You see this squeeze here? You see the positive momentum? This should be more over here. It changes. We get the squeeze, positive momentum. This is coronavirus news, over-the-counter bulletin board stock. Starts to break out here. This is when it really gets clean. If you miss this move here, and even because over-the-counter bulletin boards, and you quote chase this move on this bar here, you still, to this high here intraday, that's a 60% move. To the next morning highs, that's a 150% move in the middle of a rough market. Now I bring that up because I want to show you guys GAXY on Friday. I kind of screwed this up. 3-minute chart doesn't look as illiquid. But on GAXY, let's even do a 5-minute chart. Made mention right here at noon in the chat room. There were only 2 stocks. I think it was like CLVB, CVLB, and then, yep, maybe. And then there was GAXY. And I said, GAXY, awesome initial morning push. I got to be honest, guys, Didn't even look for news. Didn't even check it out. Just was like, I like the initial morning push. I like the consolidation. It was a first green up day on huge volume in the morning. As it consolidates higher, I got to go to the 1 minute chart because that's what I was watching. It has this push right here on huge volume. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, wow, GAXY is waking up, but I don't like the volume profile intraday. Compare that chart to the DECN chart that I showed you earlier. It then consolidates more, and then bam, higher here. I didn't want to chase this at any point. But let's say you decide to chase that initial move. First big green day on huge volume, you still got a 130% gain on GAXY. I'll admit, I balked on it. I didn't like the volume profile. Like I said, go back and look at DECN. Does this consolidation look like it did? No. But let's say then you don't take that one, and the next squeeze happens with the positive building momentum, and you wait to buy this bar here. You still got a 37 to 40% move into the close during the final 15 minutes of the session. And based on the way this one closed, like DECN, I expect it to gap up and push a little bit in the morning, and or it could sell off, but you want to take profits in the morning. But I'll continue to look at that, and I want to show you the daily what it looks on GAXY. This is the first green big up day. Notice how it's a big green day. Notice the volume. Even in the morning, the volume was heavier than the session before. So that's basically what I'm focused on. Just wanted to show everybody. But on an end-of-day basis, stay safe, everyone. If you can do me a favor, hit the like button, leave a comment, feed that YouTube algorithm for me, please, so more people can watch this video. So I'm encouraged to make more videos. Hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed, or ring the bell. I greatly appreciate it. And as you all know, I have a website, 2-week free trial. Give it a shot. Right now, you're not going to have a lot of stocks to trade. But whenever the market comes back, maybe. I'm not asking you to join now. But whenever you start to see the market bottom, you start seeing me review more winning positions or more trades that I take. I have to cut losses. It happens all the time. Then maybe consider the 2-week free trial. But for now, at least just watch my YouTube videos. All right, everyone. I'll see you in the chat room if you're a member on Monday morning. Aloha.